Hey, what's up everyone? It's your good friend Eric Thompson. A big warm welcome to the channel. If this is your very first time being here, hey, be sure to please hit the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button because that helps me out. It also helps you out to make sure that you get more helpful videos just like this one. This one, guys, is called How to Get Real Estate Clients. I think maybe a better way to say it is how to attract real estate clients. Here's the thing. We're going to keep this simple. All right, we're going to keep this very simple, very straightforward. There are only 4 steps to this, all right? And for sure, there are all kinds of little micro strategies, all kinds of nuances that we could talk about, that we will talk about in further videos right here on this channel. That's why you want to make sure that you do subscribe. But you know what? For this one, we're just going to keep this simple and straightforward because it is. It is very simple. This is very straightforward. There are only 4 steps. One of my good friends once said about the real estate business, he said, you know what? This business is only complicated if you let it be complicated. So let's not let this be overly complicated, all right? So here's how this goes. Here are the 4 steps. We're going to use 4 letters to keep this straight. So it's C, L, A, P. Of course, that spells clap. Why clap? Because we are going to applaud this. We're going to celebrate when you put these things into motion, when you implement these things in your business. We're going to celebrate this because it's cool. All right, this is a time to celebrate. This is a time to keep it simple. Let's keep it straightforward. Here we go. So what do those stand for? What do the C and L and A and P stand for? Well, C stands for connect. L stands for listen. A stands for ask. P stands for promise. You can do all those things. You can connect with people. You can listen to them. You can ask them just one simple, very straightforward question that I'm going to tell you. And you can also promise them things. And you can fulfill the promise. You can follow up on the promise. Here's how this goes. Okay, so we're going to start with connect. Connect is the C. So who do you connect with? You know who you connect with? People that you already know, all right? So people that you already know, you already like, they already know you, they already like you. We don't have to go after strangers. We don't have to go after people that don't know us. We're going to start with our very best relationships. We're going to start with people that we already know. So it's our friends, it's our connections, it's people in our neighborhood, it's people in our networks. We're connecting with those kinds of people. What are we doing when we connect? Well, what we're doing is we're building both relationship with them and we're building credibility with them, all right? Both of those things at the same time. How do we connect? There are all kinds of different ways to connect, all right? So we can connect, of course, face-to-face, like one-on-one, like you could be going to lunch with someone who is in your sphere. You could take them to coffee. You could maybe be on the phone with them. You could text them. You could email them. You could send them things in the mail. You could host a client event. You could host a neighborhood party. You could host a backyard barbecue. Any of those things count as connection, all right? So we're connecting with people that we already know. We are connecting with them in all kinds of different ways. And what are we doing when we're connecting? We're building up the relationship that we have with them, and we're also building up our credibility with them, all right? So when we are not live with them, what we're doing is we are sending them things through the mail. We're sending them things by email. We're texting them. What we can do in those moments is we can build up our expertise. All right, so we're sending them things that are valuable, that build our expertise. So what is that? That's market information, market data, neighborhood stats, recent sales, anything that's relevant to them. Maybe it's a brand new neighborhood that's being developed near their property. Anything like that will build up your expertise. What are you doing when you are live with them, when you are face-to-face, when you are connecting with them over lunch or coffee or the backyard barbecue? All you're doing is you're just listening and learning about their life. And what are you doing? By doing that, you're asking them questions, all right? So you're just asking them questions about their life. You're learning about what's going on with their family, what's happening with their job. Those kinds of things is all you're doing, right? So that's the connect piece. So you're just going to connect with people. Guess what? You're doing that anyway, all right? So just connect with people. Go all in on the connection. Now we're to L. L stands for listen. It could also stand for learn. It could also stand for look. So what are we listening for while we're connecting with our people? And also as we're connecting with them, even on social media, What are we doing during those moments? Well, what we are doing is we are listening and we are looking for change. All right, we're listening and looking for change in their life because bottom line, it's change that leads to change in real estate. All right, so when something happens in someone's life that's a change, that will lead to them probably, likely, sending them into a change in their real estate. So they get pregnant. Their youngest moves out of the house and now they're empty nesters. God forbid, they get a divorce or there's a death in the family. They get married. They have to relocate. They get a promotion. They get a demotion. They get laid off. Any of those kinds of changes are so likely to lead to changes in real estate. I want you to think about anyone that you know who's moved in the last year. I would bet you can trace it back to a big life change that they had. Maybe all at once they're making more money, more income. They got a big bonus. They got a big promotion. They had an addition to the family. The mother-in-law had to move in. They have a growing family. Any of those kinds of changes will lead to them having a change in real estate. So all you got to do, you just have to listen and look for changes in their life so that you know that it's likely that they're going to change their real estate in the future. The other thing you're listening for is for them to ask that magic question called, how's the market? So when you're connecting with them, learning about their life, they of course are going to ask you about your business and what's happening for you. In real estate, they're going to be asking you about the market because people are always curious about the market. So you got to listen for that question, how's the market? That may sound exactly like, hey, so how's the market? Or it may be like, boy, it must be a good time to be in real estate. Or boy, sure seems like real estate is pretty active right now. Or geez, it sure seems like there's a lot happening in the world of real estate now. Those are all versions of how's the market. All you have to do then is just give them a really great answer to that question that's just based on stats and facts and data. Just tell them about some things happening in the market, make it really valuable. All right, so let's recap so far. We've gone through C and L. We're just connecting with people. We're connecting with people that we already know. They already know us. We like them. They like us. We're connecting with them in really natural, organic, authentic ways. It's live, things like face-to-face, where we're going to coffee, we're going to lunch, or hosting the backyard barbecue. It could be on the phone catching up. It could be sending them a text. It could be social media. It could be email. It could be physical mail. All those different ways we're connecting. What are we doing when we connect? We just listen and we look for change, and we're also listening for them to ask the question, how's the market, when we give them a really great answer. Pretty simple so far, right? This is not so hard. Now we're to the A. All you do at A is you ask. You ask them if they would like help. All right? So it's really that simple. We just want to be helpful. The way you do that is ask them if they would like our help with anything. And what kind of help am I talking about? Well, it could be an answer to their question. They may have a specific question about maybe like what's going on in their neighborhood. Maybe they wonder about a recent sale in their neighborhood. Maybe they wonder about where interest rates are going, and you can find an article about that. Maybe they're wondering about just like a specific stat in the market, like what's the average price in my neighborhood? You could help them with that. They may be curious to know what their home is worth in today's market, even if they're not thinking about selling anytime soon. So you just have to ask them if they would like help. The way you ask, you're learning this on this channel. The way you ask is by saying, would it be helpful if? Hey, would it be helpful if I got you the answer to that question? Would it be helpful if I showed you exactly what's happening in your neighborhood? Would it be helpful if I showed you what your property is worth today? Even if you're not thinking about selling anytime soon, would that help you out if you had a really good understanding of that? Would it be helpful if I added you to my newsletter list? I send a monthly printed newsletter. Would it be helpful if I added you to the list of people who get my quarterly market update? Anything like that. Do you get the point? You just ask them, would it be helpful if? They're probably going to say yes, which then leads us to the P, is promise. So all you have to do is just follow through on the promise. Okay, so they're going to say yes, that would be helpful. So now you promise to send them that piece of information, that answer to their question, that report, summary of what's happening in their neighborhood or what their home is worth. You promise to do that. You then fulfill the promise by simply sending it to them, and then you follow up on the promise, which is just following up, a couple of days later, say, hey, did you get the information? Was that helpful? What questions do you have? Here's some interesting things that I noticed when I put it together anything like that would be really effective is following through on the promise. And then away you go, right? Away you go with helping them even more because now they see you as a very helpful person. So it's CLAP, it's connect, listen, ask, promise. When I watch realtors struggle, they struggle for only 4 reasons. They're not connecting, right? So they're frustrated with the level of their business. So then I simply ask them, tell me about all the connections that you're making. And so it all starts with that, like you got to connect. Second reason they struggle is they're not paying attention. They're not paying attention when they are connecting. They're not paying attention to the change in people's life, and they're not paying attention to the client actually asking them about the market, because sometimes it sounds a little more nuanced, right? Sometimes it sounds not as direct as how's the market. Sometimes it sounds like, geez, real estate sure has a lot going on right now, or must be a good time to be in real estate. And so take that as an opportunity to really add some value, bring some clarity with a stat or a fact. Realtors struggle for the third reason is they're not asking. They're not asking the client, they're not asking that person if they would like help because they're afraid of coming across as being pushy, as being salesy, because they don't know how to ask. Well, the simple way to ask is, hey, would it be helpful if? All right, so that's how you ask. Realtors struggle because they're not following up on promises that they make. All right, so they have a great connection with someone. Maybe you meet them at an open house. Maybe it's a neighbor who is curious about what's going on in the market. And the follow through, the follow up on the promise is not great. So really, if you find yourself struggling, it's for only one of 4 reasons. If you want to get clients, if you want to attract clients, you only have to do these 4 things. All right, guys? So here's all you got to do. Say it with me now, with vigor, with enthusiasm, so that we clap. All you got to do is connect. Just connect with your people. Listen and look for change in their life. Listen for them to ask you, how's the market? Ask if they would like help. And then promise the thing that would be helpful. Follow through on that promise. Follow up on that promise. And guess what? You will have great clients. You will have a great business. Hey, I hope so much that this video was helpful. I so appreciate you engaging with this. Please subscribe so that you get more helpful videos just like this one. Also give it a thumbs up like because it helps it out in the YouTube algorithm. It helps other people to find it. And thank you so much. I can't wait to see you in the next video.